we've been announcing this for a couple of weeks now, and we, been playing a couple of videos, and I did a little bit of research, and matter of fact, I'm gonna save that for the interview. Without further ado, y'all, we are welcoming to the
Yeah.
Party Don't Lie crew, Blue Magic.
And we're known as the Shades of Love in North Philadelphia. And we had a friend of ours named Tony who knew Ted. And he said Ted was with the Topics then. And he said Ted's coming over to his house soon. So we said, okay, we'll come over and meet him. So we came over to the house. Ted was there. And he took us to Temple University. He wanted to play some songs for us. He played What's Come Over Me, Spell, Tear It Down. And then we sung for him. And he said, I like you guys. I'm going to take you to my management. So he took us to his management, which was WMOT. And they liked how we sound. So they signed us to a contract as the Shades of Love. And Ted was still with the other group. Then they changed the name of that group to Blue Magic. And they had a TV show they did called Georgie Wood Show. And they didn't do too good on that show. So Alan started looking at us. Alan Rubens, he's the manager. And he said, I'm going to put y'all with Ted and see what we can do with that. And he signed us with Ted, and we became Blue Magic.
So this is why I jump in there, because I like to share this story because I don't like to be left out. So
Right.
What I want to know is, I probably, it's 72. I wasn't born yet, but y'all didn't know that. Nobody reached out to me. Nobody called. My phone, email probably was my Yahoo account wasn't jumping. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they wanted me to go and be the lead singer for the Stylistics, but I turned that down because I was waiting on Blue Magic. But y'all ain't never called.
Well, that's a good one, man.
I got my blue on today and everything. Y'all ain't even called.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, my brother.
I'm old now. I'm retired now, so but it ain't no hard feelings, but I'm just saying, y'all could have looked the brother up,
Yeah, we could have. I'm sorry about that, brother. Things happen in this world you just can't control.
Get him, Rob. Get him, Rob. Don't let him do me like that. Come on. Come on, man.
Really, Bishop? Go ahead, Rick.
I was trying to get on. Yeah.
Let me see here. How y'all doing, man? This is DJ Rick, man. Let me. These youngsters right here, they don't know too much about Blue Magic.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute.
That's in my era.
Don't you do that, Rick? Because
This is in my era. This is my era now.
Yeah.
I'm the old school here.
Okay.
All right. That was baby making music back then.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they called it.
That's right.
They called it baby making music.
Ooh.
What was you thinking? Matter of fact, what was y'all thinking when y'all made that song?
Which song?
Sideshow.
Oh, wow. That's a great one to talk about. It wasn't R&B. The song wasn't R&B. What's Come Over Me, Sideshow. Stop to Start. All the other songs were rhythm and blues. This song, Norman said, I want you to cross over to the other side. I said, cross over? What are you talking about, man? He said, I just want y'all to cross over. So he gave us the song. We listened to it. It was, we thought it was just a song. And that thing came out and took off, man, and it shot straight up there to #1.
Yep.
And that's how we got started with Sideshow. So that's what I can say about that.
So, when you guys were actually creating the music back then, what was it like to be a musician back then versus 10 years later versus another 10 years later? So, what was the changing of the decades like for you guys?
Oh, wow. When we first started, we didn't know nothing about the studio, nothing about none of the stuff they were doing. Norman Harris took us, he picked the songs out, took us in the studio, and he said, y'all gonna sing these songs. We said, okay, we're gonna sing the songs. And to see how it was done back then, it was amazing to see like 15 horn players, 15 string players in the rhythm section, all playing our music. And it's different from the day they use one guy who gets on the computer and he does everything. No, we had about 30 people in our songs. Each song was done like that. So we had fun doing it then, and it was nice. And we started doing other things in there. It was just nice, and we learned a lot from Norman. He showed us how to pick songs, how to go in there and play the songs. You hear the strings play, then you hear the horns play, and we listened and watched all this stuff. 'Cause we was like 22 years old. We didn't know nothing, and he played the songs. It was great. It was great. Then later on, the next part, we started doing songs by ourselves. Ted would write the songs that we were doing, and we understood how the studio worked. Then, and it was pretty nice. It was nice.
How do you guys feel about the transition of what music and what R&B sounds like today?
Ah, well, well, the songs we made back then, the Temptation, the OJs, the Spinners, they told a story of about people's lives. About how you can get through things and how you can love one another, how you can be together. Today, they're talking about basically sex. You know, I like the girl booty down, all that stuff they're talking about.
But y'all
It
talked
had,
about sex too.
huh?
I said y'all
That's
talked
that's
about y'all spoke
that's
about
new
sex
school
a
baby
lot
making.
back then. It was just sung differently.
It was romantic.
It was
Yeah.
Today's
respectful.
music is not romantic.
Was it
No,
Today's
respectful?
music is not romantic.
no, no. Today's
What
music.
It
it
was
is?
95% romantic back then, 5%,
Yeah.
but now it's 95% lust, okay,
Yeah,
and
I
5%
agree.
romantic.
yeah.
I agree.
I don't know the
Hmm.
producers
I
today.
definitely agree with that. Yeah, you guys had a way of enticing and persuading. It was like that's the word I'm gonna use, persuasive instead
Yeah,
of demanding.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We told a
And then you
story.
Nowadays,
guys always used a lot of metaphors with
Hmm.
exactly. It was subtle. Yes, Shayla. It was subtle. So yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely agree.
yeah.
Definitely
nowadays it's
agree.
just all in your face. Just give it to me.
I want it. Okay,
Right,
girl, you
and there
want
you
that
go.
girl
It
so
is in
bad.
your face.
Hey, what
Hey,
are you talking
but
about?
that's what they do though. They might be like that, but then they get in the car and they ride the Blue Magic and all the old
Yeah,
Southern
yeah,
songs. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But the industry did that. The music industry.
Hmm.
They wanted us to act a certain way and be a certain way, and they
Hmm.
programmed that if you're not doing it this way, you're not getting on the air. And they changed the whole system of how music is heard and played today. So I blame the industry, you know. But if people out there still writing good songs, but you come up with a good song and it's not lusty or nasty, man, we don't want that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's wrong
yeah,
with these people? It could have continued running the same way we were doing music, but everything changed. Everything, you know. Like we can go to a radio station and this jockey, let us in. Now you got a program and say, well, you got to make an appointment for this, and you might have to do this. And what are you talking
I'm so
about?
glad you brought that up because that was going to be one of my questions. What was the difference between the connection with the DJs back then versus the connection with DJs now? It's almost unheard of. Like if
Totally
we don't,
different. It's
so
totally
I'm a
different.
singer as well. And
Right,
when it comes time for me to put my music out there, if I don't literally go to these venues where these DJs are playing, or if I don't
right.
have their email, they're never going to hear my music because
No,
showing up to a radio station, if you don't have an appointment going like 6 months out, you're not going to get in there.
yeah, man.
So with
Right,
you all
right.
being able to just going off of the movies and then going off of other interviews that we've had of you guys just being able to get a phone call in the middle of the night to say we need you guys at the studio right now, and then you have an
Yeah,
on-air interview like that.
yeah.
What was that experience like for you guys when you got your first phone call to show up at a radio station?
WDAS in Philadelphia. They called us and said, we want you here. We went, and that was it. Now today, you can't even get in there. And if you walk in there, we used to just walk in there. We were just in the park and we walk in the station. They said, oh, Blue Magic's here. You try to get in there, look at you like you're crazy. I'm sorry, I can't let you in right now. You have to make an appointment. Hey, man, what are you talking about? Then you had mom and pop radio stations. Now
Hmm.
the big stations brought all that up. There's plenty of mom and pop stations all over this country.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and we just take our record in and they play it. We just walk in and play it. No problem and nothing. So it's a lot different than what it was back then. We had fun.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
Recording back then and getting somebody to sing on your track to towards recording now the way they do it. Did that person back then had to come to you all because now they can make you they can be anywhere and put the tracks on.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we had to go in the studio and do that stuff, man. Now they got auto tunes and all this other crazy stuff. You don't have to be able to sing. You just open your mouth and they feel, oh, I fixed that for you. No, we had to go over our songs. They were done 20 times. You're going to do it over and again to us right. Now they got the computer, they just fix your sound, your voice a little off, you put it up a little, and they expect you to go out there and sing. Like, I'll be sure. He did his album like that, and he just put stuff on there he couldn't even sing. So it's not different. You want
I mean, see, I'm from Philly. I'm tell it how it is, boy.
It showed at the concert.
we had to do our thing.
Okay.
Well, see, I was going to say, I believe that though. Like that's when I write songs. That's the first thing that I think about. Am I going to be able to perform this on stage?
Yeah.
Mary J.
I don't want to put something on my album to where when I get asked to sing it, it's like, oh my goodness, okay, I'm gonna have to lower this key like
Yeah.
10 notches.
Mhm.
So that's what they
And then not only were you guys singing, y'all were dancing. Y'all had
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
dance steps.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Keith,
So could
Keith
you
did
guys
that.
dance when y'all first started?
Yeah. No, that's all we did. We started Blue Magic. We used to go to parties and stuff and they had the cha-cha dance. We would all get together, do the same cha-cha moves. Boom, 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 boom.
Man,
So that's
Fernando can't
cool,
cut no
man.
rug, man.
This is
Come
cool.
on,
So they gave
Fernando.
the
You ain't
records.
cutting no rug. Come on now.
Yeah, he got a little excited on that question. Fernando, what
You over
you
there
singing?
chilling like what? You was the best dancer, Mr. Keith.
Keith
Me?
was. Keith was.
No, keep beating. Keep beating is the
You were like, yeah, I
Who was
used
the
to
one
cut a
that had
rug
two
or
left
two.
feet?
man.
Out of the whole group, who had two left feet?
Ted.
Ted,
Ted.
it's always the
Ted.
lead, ain't it?
We had to beat that boy to make him do the steps. When he wasn't singing the song, he's back in that background. My God. But he got used to it. We groomed him into doing it right. So he basically got it.
I have so I got the pleasure of being in the rap world and here in the go-go world, and we do shows out of 7 days, at least 3 to 5 days. So
Yeah.
being on tour, doing shows, interviews, radio stations, promos, and the hard work that you guys do. If you guys have kids, I noticed in my community, like my age range, I know we all when you do these shows, you go out of town and you promoting and all that stuff. You're taking time away from your family and your kids. How do you explain the sacrifice of that to your kids? Like, what would you tell? Like nowadays, for us, we don't really know how to explain that to the family or to the kids. Like, how can you explain? I want to hear from all three of you guys though, so we can get a different perspective. But
Yeah.
how can you explain that sacrifice that you could like, for example, what can you tell me? How can I explain my sacrifice of that as far as time and you showing that you still love them and stuff like that?
Well,
This is
you
very
have
different.
to. Well, first of all, what you do is your livelihood. It's your job. Just like other people go to the hospital for their job. They spend 8 to 10 hours there, 5 days a week. Still, what you do is a job. You know, and so you explain to your children, that this is your job. This is how you, provide. Depending on how old your children are, you talk to them on their level, but they need to know that this is how you provide. This is how you are able to um, pay rent and put clothes on their back and provide all the stuff that they enjoy. If you don't go out to work, then they won't have the benefits, and so they need to know that you are working. You're not just out there out of the house doing nothing. You're working.
Right.
And so, but on the other hand, you have to be balanced. when you come home, you have to give them your undivided attention.
Mhm.
You understand? You can't be doing business and trying to and parent on the same. When they go to sleep, that's one thing. Take care of your business, but you have to make sure that you're balanced and give them your undivided attention when you are home.